This is esteemed family.
Keep it in the family.
Guys, welcome to another episode of the Shareholders podcast. Monty here. It's a blessing to be back, man. We got some great shows coming for you guys as well. Money Club's coming up soon as well. But first things first, I'm glad we're doing it now. You know, we was going to do it at the preseason, but everybody does a preseason show, man. We're going to do by my calculation, the 1/8, 10 games in, so we got 7/8 of the season to go. Man, I got a family affair this time, man. I got extra bro and cuz in the house, man. So we're gonna keep it all in there. I guess the 3 J's are knowing that. I didn't know yeah. So
wow.
I got Jeff. Yeah. Joe, how you been, man? You all right?
Hey, man, I'm good, man. Happy to be here, man. Glad as always to be on the NBA shows, man.
Yes. Jeff, how's it going, man?
God is good, man. I'm blessed. Excited to be here. Swami's here.
Yes, the Swami is back, and then all the way.
Yeah.
Cross county lines, cousins in the house as well. Jamel, what's going on, bro?
All right, what's happening, man? Hey, I'm blessed as well. Happy to be here. Got a new mic. We trying that out. It's all fun. We about to have a good time.
Yeah, he hit me up. He's like, I'm ready when you need me now, man. He got the hardware upgraded. So, okay, let's get into it, man. We're going to round robin this right now, just how I did the intros, okay? We're not even playing with it right now. Who you got? The Jokic brothers or the Morris brothers? Joe, hot fire. What you got?
Listen, man, I'm thinking of if I'm in a bind, all right? If I'm in a bind, who do I need to go to? All right. If it gets maybe a little physical. I've seen the Morris brothers, they're a little crazy. So I wouldn't want to mess with them. I'm taking the Morris brothers.
Taking the Morris, wow. Jeff, you got the Morris brothers or you got the Jokic brothers?
Well, I heard somebody say something today. I would have went with the Morris brothers, but what they said, it made sense. They said the Morris brothers might be used to drive-bys and physical fighting. But then they said the Jokic brothers might be used to bombs dropping. Bombs in the hood. So I'm going with them Jokic brothers. They said, meet me outside.
Jamel, you got Philly's finest or you got the boys from Serbia?
I mean, it's not an easy decision. We're going to I'm going to give credit to both of them, but it is a simple decision for me. Yeah, the Jokic brothers probably have access to some artillery I can't pronounce. So I know what the Morris brothers do, and he wasn't paying attention. He wasn't watching his blind side. That's not a good look. So come on.
That's a good
point. He started, by the way. He started that.
I heard Shaq and Chuck say today, you don't turn your back after a cheap shot. Like, come on now, you don't know better than that. And just for the record too, they said the Jokic brothers started his Twitter account just for that actual day. They started one today, like, come through. They didn't even have a Twitter before this. Now them brothers kind of crazy, so I don't know about that. But okay, so that was the pressing issue we had to get to begin with. We are already roughly 10 games into the season, pretty much. We got some surprises, some disappointments, some puzzles and things like that in the Eastern Conference. Miami, and it's a 3-way tie right now between Miami and Chicago and Washington. And honestly, I don't know if anybody might have had those three at the top, let alone one of them. I think it's kind of surprising. Milwaukee's kind of just taking their time, the championship hangover. Some other teams maybe struggling. Atlanta's struggling right now. Then Brooklyn's kind of coming on. And then in the Western Conference, some people wouldn't say it's a surprise, but Golden State at 9-1 right now. It's only a surprise to me. We're going to get into this just because of who they have currently. And then we've got Utah next and Dallas. And then we've got some people in the middle. Of course, Well, and I don't want to say the West is what it is because I don't know if I can say that this year. So let's first of all get into it. We'll go in reverse order. Give me your biggest surprise, and then maybe your biggest disappointment. Jamel, I'm gonna start with you. Your biggest surprise so far, and then your biggest disappointment.
Okay, my biggest surprise, without a doubt, is the quote pseudo home team. So I live in Maryland. I'm not far from the Wizards. I haven't seen a minute of them. I've seen scores. I didn't know what their standings was, so that's incredible to me. I mean, these were the Laker cast-offs or whatever that got put together.
Right.
So to see, and I'm happy though. Like I heard Spurs. I was at the barbershop the week before today. They were talking about it a lot. So I just didn't know they was doing this well. So shout out to them. Hats off to what they're doing. I hope they keep it going. Disappointment. I mean, the Lakers is definitely up there. I don't know who's biggest, but they definitely up there. Because injuries are not as too many. Like they put together the 04-05 Lakers and they playing like them so far. Actually, no, that's not true. They're playing like the finals because they were doing well. Right now, they're not even gonna be able to disappoint nobody. But I do also feel like the 1/8 in the season versus after the All-Star break and all that are gonna tell different tales. So.
Very much so. Jeff, your biggest surprise and biggest disappointment?
Biggest surprise. I think both of mine are going to come from the Eastern Conference. The Western Conference looks around about normal, top 8 or 9 teams. So I'm going to go with, you know what? I'm going to give some love to the Cavs. They 7-4. I have no idea how. No. For the Cleveland Cavaliers without LeBron James, that is impressive. So something's going on right there. I can't even give you 6 players on a team. I know Lauri Markkanen got traded over there. I think so to the Cavs, but that's surprising through 10, 11 games. My biggest disappointment, I'm going with the Hawks. I thought, Nate McMillan came in. They had a swag going. They actually added some players into the rotation that were injured last year. Cam Reddish came on late last year. I think DeAndre Hunter was injured. And they're sitting at number 12 right now, fully healthy, to my knowledge. So I don't know what's going on there, but they are not winning ball games. And I thought they had huge momentum, very young, and I thought they would ride that going into this season, but it's not looking like that.
Joe, biggest surprise, biggest disappointment.
All right, biggest surprise going out of left field. I'm going to say the Toronto Raptors, right? Reason because, I feel like Toronto made it clear after getting rid of Kyle Lowry that they were in a moment in the phase of just rebuilding. And they got some young talent that, may not do a ton this year, but, Scotty Barnes, I think Pascal, I don't know if he's back or if he's still hurt, but
I don't think he's back yet. Yeah.
So to have I don't think that they playing this is almost like reminds me of that Thunder team that was really, really underrated and they're doing some good things. To me, they're very surprising. And as far as the most, what was you said upsetting or disappointing? Disappointment to me is the rookie class. Specifically those top 2 picks. It's like the top rookies right now are not the people that we expected to be the top rookies, right? Originally from Michigan, so I always have love for the Detroit Pistons. I'm not ruling my man's out just yet, but I know he suffered injuries and whatnot, but I'm just saying like these rookies that are really highly touted, in my opinion, have not. And again, it's obviously young. It takes time for rookies to really, get their footing right and everything. But I'd say the rookie class is my biggest disappointment right now. I had a lot more expectation what I thought that they would do.
That's interesting. Let me kind of go back through everybody's because Jamel, I have to admit, I literally had to look up the name of the Washington coach because I have no idea, and it's Wes Unseld Jr. I forgot about that. But you're right. Kuzma's averaging like a double-double right now for them. He's killing it on the boards. KCP shooting well, great defense. I mean, they got a good. Listen, I'll tell you what. I think the Lakers wish they kind of had some of them guys still, on the team because they're play. I don't know how they're just gelling that fast to add that many new guys, but they're playing well.
I say one, I don't know. Like I don't know Kuzma, so I didn't know if he was gonna move from this team and care, or but he definitely has a chip on his shoulder. Apparently, he gets on social media when the Lakers lose and just reminds you, like, "Well, my team won. I don't how they doing."
Little salt, yeah,
just a little, just a little bit.
Salt, yeah, a little salty.
But one thing I noticed, I'm sorry. One thing I noticed is when you actually allow someone to be involved on both or on the offensive side, then you get a whole different player. Like when they're and you got to remember, like all these dudes, you were the man at some level, and when they playing a lot of it, so it's like, okay, I don't have to be shadow anymore. Like I know I'm involved in the whole game. All right, cool. Let me go ahead and play. And sometimes, sometimes people can't deal with it, and sometimes people have just been waiting for the opportunity to be able to shine. It looks like that's what they're doing.
And then, so Jeff, you were impressed with the Cavs, if I remember right, and I am very impressed with the Cavs. Yeah, and I'm going to tell you why, and it kind of ties in with Joe.
I was going to go there. I know where you're going.
Well, Cade has struggled, and Green has struggled. I mean, Green, they're just letting Green do whatever he wants. He's shooting not a great percentage, but he's he's just doing whatever he wants. But let me tell you, Evan Mobley is. I saw a USC game last year, and I didn't know anything about somebody being a draft pick. I saw Evan Mobley. I said, whoever that is, I was like, that kid is ridiculous. And there was talk he might have went number one, but it's not even. It's amazing to see a young big man, and they're just raving at his defense because most of the time these young big guys on the pick and roll get eaten up, don't know what they're doing, and he is just outstanding. And I think he's one of the bright spots. I say him and Scotty Barnes pretty much are the two bright. We're waiting on the other guys. Again, it's early. I'm not even worried yet. But and then you said the Hawks, and it was funny because I heard Trey. Trey said, he said it's kind of different now. He's like, because we kind of missed that rush of the playoffs. And he's like, and he said the regular season is so boring, and you just, and they're already like, they kind of want to get to the playoffs, but it's like, bro, you got to fight your way in. You're just not. And I think that young team is just understanding. They've been on the road a lot too. They've been struggling on the road. I think they've had like eight of their first 11 on the road. But and then Joe, to you, I know you said you were down on the rookies, but you were up on
Toronto.
Toronto. Yeah, which again, we're waiting on a lot of guys to get back. We're going to get into Clay and all that in a minute, but for Toronto, and I got to give it to Nick Nurse. Kind of an unsung guy, unsung coach, but the defense that they play is outstanding. And to lose Lowry after you lose DeRozan, after you lose Kawhi, and still somehow putting it together, I got to give it to him. So I want to ask you guys this, because I got in a heated conversation about this. Is the Eastern Conference maybe top to bottom a little superior? I mean, we've had like 2 decades now of just heavy West dominance, top to bottom. Do you think the Eastern Conference is a little slightly better, or at least par with the Western Conference this year? I'm gonna start with Jeff on this
one. No, I don't think the Eastern Conference is caught up yet. I think they've made significant strides, so cause for the conversation to start to brew is there. But no, top to bottom, I would compare it if what they were proposing to throw out the East-West, right? You do your top 16 teams, or I'm thinking head-to-head matchups, and I still would go with, if I'm looking at it right now, Warriors, Jazz, Dallas, Suns, Grizzlies, Nuggets, Lakers probably. Those teams, I mean, right, once you start hitting the Cavs and the Wizards, the Bulls are surprisingly good to gel so quick, but Raptors sitting at 8. I still would give it a lot of new teams being formed. You know, Washington, the Bulls, some of them top teams, the Cavs sitting there on the Eastern Conference. I still think it's way too early to, call that. I think the teams in the West, besides the Lakers, have really been together longer. So you got Utah, Memphis is looking good. Ja Morant is. I'm with Perk. They got 3 more games left on ESPN the whole year. They got to put your boy on Showtime because he's doing 360 late. He's doing crazy stuff.
We need more Ja Morant. We do.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'll cut it there. But yeah, I'm still going with the Western Conference.
Joe, give me your take.
I mean, I'll say it's closer, closer than what it's been before. Like when you think of those top teams in the East, obviously things will change. I'm guessing at the end, we'll see Milwaukee up there, obviously. We'll see Brooklyn up there. We'll see Miami up there. Solid teams, but I'd say if you're saying top to bottom, I think the West still has it. Like for years, the East would have teams 500, bordering 500, still making the playoffs. West, you got teams above 500 as a 9th and 10th seed. Like obviously injuries and whatnot, but last year, man, that play-in game with the Warriors and the Lakers, Warriors got Clay coming back, you know what I'm saying? Lakers, whatever they do, they get this whole new team and everything. So the fact that those two teams were 8th and 9th seed, I think still proves, I think the West is still more superior, but not take away from the East. The East has made a lot more strides. So I would say it's more balanced overall, I think.
Jamel.
Yeah, I think overall it's the West. I think the Bucks starting off slow and they're the champs. I think the Hawks starting off slow and they're, of course, is not making them look good. And I mean, on the West, you kind of have some similar things. It's definitely closer than it was. It's definitely not one superior conference and one laughingstock conference, because on the flip side, although maybe top to bottom, I'd give it to the West. The East top teams definitely can give the Lakers, a run, because I don't really know. I can't say I trust the Clippers. I don't trust the Clippers. Jazz, you know what I mean? Like who is this other like highly likely champion on the West? Whereas the East, Brooklyn figures it out if. Who else is up there? And I don't know what Miami's about to do for real. And then even if Philly figures out, like, if they actually finally find somebody to move, to move Simmons for, I mean, they're doing fine right now. They're gonna be.
We will get to Simmons, Jeff. I already see you.
I know we will. We have.
Simmons is coming up next. Yes. Okay. So let me just real quick tell y'all why all of y'all wrong. Okay, the East is superior, and I'm gonna tell you why. Can't go off of last year's sentiment, because understand something. The Clippers ain't going nowhere because they got no Kawhi. Okay, that's just okay. Guess what? Denver's going nowhere because they have no Jamal Murray. They're not going anywhere. Okay,
he's coming back.
He's not gonna. He's not gonna be back.
But Jokic gonna get suspended for the season.
He might be back at the very end. Remember, he got hurt right near the playoffs. He ain't doing nothing. You want to hang your hat on Utah? Go right ahead. It's
Absolutely
Utah.
not.
Put it like this: the 11th seed in the East right now, and it's early on that, is the Boston Celtics. The 11th seed in the West is Oklahoma City. Look at the bottom of the West. Remember, I said top to bottom. Sacramento, OKC, Minnesota, San Antonio, Houston, and New Orleans. That's your, fam. Okay, we know Detroit ain't doing nothing, and we know Orlando ain't doing nothing. But other than that, not in the playoffs right now. You get Milwaukee, Charlotte, Boston, and Atlanta. That's 4 right there. I think because of injuries now, there's a different – now at the very top, we're going to get to that in a minute too. Of course, it's the West. But I said top to bottom, I feel like the East – I mean, I think just there's 6 teams totally rebuilding in the West. Sacramento might think they're doing some. Of course, they're not. Sacramento, OKC, Minnesota, San Antonio, Houston, and New Orleans are all in rebuilding mode. But in the East, everybody trying to get in. They all trying to get a piece, And the Bulls have emerged. Now, I think the huge surprise is Cleveland. I don't know if Cleveland can sustain that, but I don't know about that. But I know the Bulls ready to go. And I know, Jamel, we just said in your neck of the woods, Brad Beal is not trying to, I mean, they made the playoffs last year. Actually, they were a playoff team, but so okay, Jeff, did you have something that you seen?
See, I didn't take it in that context. I see your point, but I'm thinking if we were to have a tournament right now, somebody from the West is winning.
At the no, I will say at the very
that's what if we have a bloodbath right now, and we have, right, if you mix them in and you go 1 through 16 on each end, right? No conferences, even though we're talking about different conferences. I think more teams from the West definitely survive. That's how I thought about it.
I would probably say the top 2 seeds would be in the West. But okay, so let's talk about it. We just brought up one of the powers in the East. Philly right now 8-4 without Joel Embiid. Doc Rivers there. Curry number 2 is there. A couple guys. The much beleaguered Danny Green and the crew. Now we had a Ben Simmons situation, and let's just. I mean, it is what it is. It's a hot mess. Many people feel like, the GM Daryl Morey is not just gonna fold. He has said that this is not a regular type of GM. This is the same guy. He swings for the fences. This is the guy he gets Yao Ming with Tracy McGrady. You know what I'm saying? He brings in James Harden. He brings in Chris Paul. He wants a big name Westbrook, and everybody knows he's looking at Dame Lillard. We don't know what that situation, but they said from the jump he wants Dame Lillard. Let's put Dame Lillard to the side. Other than that, give me a place for Ben Simmons to go. Like where at this point, and I think Philly's good to not play him because he's got a low stock. And if he goes out there playing and he's got that weird look on his face, they're not going to get a bag of biscuits for him. So, all right, I'm going to start with you, Joe, this time. Just give me because everybody wants him to go, but then it's like, well, go where and for who? So give me a spot for Mr.
I got a place for him. Go ahead, Joe. I got a place.
So a couple years ago, Gatorade bought out this league called it was originally the D League. Now it's the G League. It's an excellent place for a guy.
Wow.
As he says, no, because you see, Ben was saying that he's in a position right now where mentally and physically he can't play, right? But he still wants to get paid. Perfect solution. Allow this man to develop his skills in the developmental league, right? Develop a jump shot, right? Learn how to make layups and dunks and whatnot. And then once he's proven himself, like all these other guys down there, man, you can get him right back. Because personally, this is just me personally, I have never been a Ben Simmons guy. I feel like if you're in the NBA and you've got Dwight Howard shooting more 3-pointers than you, man, at a better clip. I get the defense is great, but Thabo Cephalosha was a great defender. Thabo Cephalosha was it. Bruce Bowen was a great defender, but I just, this man's getting max money for minimal effort. So, I'm saying G League, man, they got a great contract for you, man.
Just very quickly, we're talking about a McDonald's All-American, Naismith Prep Player of the Year, Mr. Basketball USA, SEC Freshman of the Year, First Team All-SEC, Consensus First Team All-American, NBA All-Rookie Team, Rookie of the Year, 2-time All-Defensive First Team, 3-time NBA All-Star, and All-NBA Third Team in 2020. So, Jeff, where do you have the young man going?
Is the camera on? Give my camera angle. Is the camera on me?
Got the camera on. Yes, sir.
He can go back to Australia. That's where he can go. Okay? Is the camera? Ben Simmons, you need to go back to Australia. Okay? Let me tell you, I've been waiting for this.
Oh, my gosh.
Number one, he's a disgrace to all light-skinned basketball players. Okay? Because when a light-skinned basketball player comes on the court, there's an 83% chance that he knows how to shoot the ball. We all know this. This is basketball stereotype.
It's science.
This is science, okay?
Science.
Number two, Ben Simmons' father is the worst basketball dad ever.
Folks, he's been saying this for a long time.
He is the worst basketball dad ever. Explain this to me. How do you let your son grow up? What did y'all practice? Like, did he just pass it off to people? They didn't do like he just dribbled around cones, you know, and then when he went up to do a layup, he passed it back to his dad and his dad dunked it. Like, what was they doing? I don't understand how you let your son grow up. It's not like he was playing center. You playing and handling the rock, and you never learn how to shoot the ball. He doesn't know
He got
how to
LeVar
shoot.
looking like dad of the year, man. He got LeVar looking like dad of the year right now, man.
He need to go. He need to go sit at LeVar's feet. That's what he need to do. It's terrible, man. He needs there's no place. Basketball is position based. It's not positionless ball. A point guard that has the rock needs to be able to create his shot and shoot. That is where success is. And he can't do it. And he needs to go back to Sydney, Australia, and take. I don't know who's more to blame. His dad or the Kardashian. I don't know.
Oh, here we go. Okay, so guys, let me recap before we get to Jamel. This is my esteemed panel. These men are handpicked to be on here. One of our panelists wants him in the G League. Another one wants him out of the country altogether. Mr. Powell, what say you about young Ben Simmons? You on East Coast. You East Coast. Tell us
I'm
what East Coast talk.
so disappointed in myself. Everybody is giving this heat. I'm about to give like an actual team. Like everybody.
You got a right to do that.
My favorite, Joe was so straight faced. Like, yeah, you know, I don't know if you've heard of it. This is G League. I think he'd be perfect. That was brilliant. They better send it back to Australia. Like, what are we doing? I'm sending him to basketball elitism purgatory, the Celtics, okay? Because that's safe. He's going to go somewhere and not do nothing. They're going to remember their 17 championships, but can't get it figured out right now. And I do disagree, man. Like, we have a lot of guards that are, with the shot. We have a lot of guards that can't shoot free throws. And we have a lot of threes now. Actually, we have Jokic bringing the ball up the court. We got Anthony Davis bringing up the ball up the court. So Boston gives you shooters. And they give you a guy that's not afraid of the moment. Multiple guys that are not afraid of the moment. So yeah, you come in there and do all that other stuff. Be the star/fake star glue guy. And even better, none of y'all are getting past the second round. So, and you can blame somebody. Somebody else is gonna mess up along the way.
That's a great point.
That's a good point. And now that is kind of a bubbling rumor now where, they're already looking, Jaylen Brown, what I'm saying?
I'm giving him up though.
Tatum, can we coexist? I heard somebody kind of bring up Ben Simmons in Boston, and I don't know about that. My thing with Ben Simmons is this. To me, there is a serious mental block. Like whether you can shoot or not, you don't pass a dunk up in game 7 with Trae Young on you. Something ain't right, fam. And then there's a report Ramona Shelburne put out that he was almost trying to ask out of that game 7 to begin with. Like something's not right. Something's going on with this dude. And then what's crazy is, but you'll look at some of his workout videos where he running an open gym, he pulling in. Like, to me, it's not that he doesn't even make the shots. He won't take the shots.
Right.
That was always a red flag. Like,
not a lights.
Yeah, like I'm like, something ain't right with this dude. Like, I could see if you just broke and you need to work on this dude. So I've been saying forever, I don't know why Sacramento's got way too many guards. You know what I'm saying? Swap him out, De'Aaron Fox, or whatever, whoever won, or Halliburton, either one, call it a night. But I think, Daryl Morey he's just digging in. He's thinking that hopefully if Portland struggles, they'll be tired of it and want to start over because, him and the McCollum and all that stuff is going on. I don't know, but it's funny you said it, Jamel, because I have been hearing a little Boston talk lately, and we don't got time to get into Boston, but I don't think Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum can't play together. I mean, they've been to like 3 conference finals. Like, what else do you need them? It's not like they're struggling, but we got to move on. Okay, so
it's exactly what Marcus Smart said.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's some stuff behind that too, because a lot of people felt Marcus Smart was, what was the old coach Brad Stevens kind of mouthpiece even before, and so he kind of got carte blanche. So we'll see about that. But let's hit it now. Let's talk about it. We got 2 big teams to hit. We're going to hit the first one now. GSW 9-1. Steph just dropped he's the oldest player to drop 50 and 10 assists. I didn't know that was. I was like, is he that old or is that just crazy? But I mean, no Kuminga. They got, no Wiseman and more. Everybody's waiting on no Clay. And somehow they are just rolling. Gary Payton Jr. is just, yamming on folks. And I haven't really, no, I did. I watched a little bit of them and I watched the first game when they played the Lakers. I mean, the thing you got to watch with the Warriors is that ball movement. When they are getting 30 assists, it's hard to beat them. And now I've seen Steph struggle in a couple of games and they still win. And that's kind of eyebrow raising. So we'll go back around the panel. Let's assess the Warriors real quick. Jamel, we're going to start with you. We'll hit right back. Just give me your assessment of the Warriors so far.
Yeah. So, yeah, the full game I've seen of them was the first one, and that was exactly an example. Steph shot horribly. And they battled back and, and got rid of a lead and also closed the game. That was before Peyton. I seen random clips since, of Peyton basically doing Avery Bradley from a couple years ago. It's like, if he's guarding you full court, hey, can somebody come get the ball, please?
Yes, yeah.
For me, because people are watching. I don't want. I have a family. Like, this man, it's like he sat in the gym with his pops this year. Like, look, I want you to go embarrass some people this year, and he's doing that right now. So, and I've been low on Andrew Wiggins for a very long time. He was Canadian Ben Simmons for years, and I think he finally, I know. But I needed to give y'all one. I needed to catch up, right? But I think he finally found, he had a lot of upside and they tried to make him the one or the two, and that's not him in this environment. I think he's found his spot and he's flourishing in his spot. And, good for him. So if outside of the Wizards, they definitely are up there and surprising. I didn't see them going 9-1 with no Clay at all. No. So, good for them. And it's going to be scary. They're the ones that they're not going to be, 90% all year. But they're not the team that hits midseason, realizes, oh, we're this team, and stops winning. Like, it's gonna get scary when they get their guy back.
Yeah, they got a couple guys to get back. Joe, give us your assessment of the Warriors so far.
Right, guys back. Yeah.
No, I'm not too surprised. I knew the Warriors. You could see Steph last year. Man, he's been the whole team is when you're used to that much winning. And you go through this slump. I knew the Warriors were going to come out high. I did not think it would happen this fast. I was thinking around All-Star, once Clay gets back, they would just start clicking. But for them to be cooking this fast, it's incredible. And really, like you said, statistically, if you look at statistically, Steph is not having his best season statistically. But for the team, you got Jordan Poole looking like a real second option out here. And I think they got a good group of guys that really don't, they know Steph is the guy, they know Dre is going to control the offense and everybody knows their role, which is kind of a problem you see with a lot of these other teams that are starting to struggle. Is guys are doing too much, not doing enough. But the Warriors right now are clicking. I'm with Jamel. I don't, obviously see them carrying this incredibly. It's going to be a difference when everybody comes back. I think they're going to have to figure out how to ingratiate these guys back in, because it is difficult. You got a lot of dudes out, and a lot of guys are getting comfortable getting 20, 25 minutes a game. When that reduces back to 10, 15, there's going to be a little bit of a change. But, I saw them probably going to the Western Conference Finals, and I don't really see nothing different now.
Yeah. Very, very good point. Jeff, give us your assessment.
Yeah, far disparity, right? Worst light-skinned shooter ever to the greatest light-skinned to ever do it, along with second greatest Killer Clay coming back. I just came from the Bay Area a little bit ago. I talked to him before the season started, had a little discussion, and things are going well. Listen, it's the perfect storm, man. We forgot, okay? The only reason why the Warriors became irrelevant, the only reason why they stopped winning chips is because of injury and health and the Kevin Durant situation. That is it, right? Now, we got to remember, before Kevin Durant, they were still getting there every year. Now, attention turns because LeBron comes to the West and there's, Kawhi and everything like that. But I heard something the other day. You can play 30 other teams in the NBA. And when you get ready to face those Warriors, you ain't seen nothing like that. You can't get caught slipping, standing around. They get everybody to buy into that culture, right? You got Steph and Draymond. You got young guys who are willing to listen and to buy in. And while they have been terrible, they've been getting more tick and more time. Okay. And now I watch them play. You just see the ball movement. Everybody, normal stuff that other teams are not. Instead of standing around at the 3-point line, they're cutting. Just normal cuts. And they're getting easy baskets. They're moving the ball. Everybody's buying into the system. They're having fun. Steve Kerr, he's not breaking clipboards anymore on the sideline. They look great. They look awesome. I don't think there's any problem with Klay coming back and getting him back in. I think that's just walking right back into it, and that's just as far as his health. Only question mark I got is James Wiseman. I really wanted to see what they would do, how they might package that to get somebody, but now I may be glad that they held on to him. I thought they could have did more. They had 2 top picks in the draft, like in the top 15, so I wanted to see a package bring somebody else in, but like you said, Jamel, Andrew Wiggins is in a place of no responsibility, where it's the best place for him. And so he can just be him. He's not a superstar. He's Harrison Barnes 2.0. Yep. And I think it's a perfect storm. And I would not be, I know it's early, but dude, they get Klay back. We forgot. We've had 2 years without the number 2 maybe shooter of all time. How do you contain that? How do you contain 2 of the greatest shooters of all time? They come back and he's any semblance, it's going to be a problem.
It's crazy. Klay might be so excited to get back on the court. He might be the one full court pressing people. Like, he's going to be like, Peyton, go ahead and I'm good. I need to catch some, because that's what Klay is, a dog on defense. I love watching him play defense.
Oh, you know what, Jamel, that's such a great point. People kind of look at Klay like they do with Steph with shooting, but Klay is one of the great two-way players.
Right.
Which is why I'm going to be very watching him closely to see if he's really back, because you'll see it on the defensive end. And part of what that first Warriors championship team was, I think they were number 1 in offense and number 2 in defense that year, which nobody had ever done. So, I kept saying, when I looked at them numbers, I'm like, they got to win the championship. Ain't no team like that. So they definitely, guys are getting some run. I do agree with Joe. It might be a little, they know what's coming. They know, Jordan Poole, he ain't starting over Klay. You know what I'm saying? He knows what it is. But I think Steve Kerr is getting these guys confidence, getting them in the system well. Wiggins is in as good a spot as he could ever be in. The thing that I love is that they have a place for the Harrison Barnes spot. We've seen that, where they could just put him right in there, keep it going. Draymond still knows how to totally command the offense, and Steph is Steph. So they are way ahead of schedule for me. I thought, like everybody else, come All-Star, let's see what Klay does, if they can just float around 500. But the thing with the Warriors, man, is when they start to feel it, man, they're as swagger a team as I've seen in the NBA. And they'll get on a run and start clowning. And, it's funny because I heard Karl Anthony Towns say they had lost like 3 in a row, and he was like, listen, this is Minnesota. He's like, 3 in a row can turn into 12 in a row and losses real quick. So, and it's just reverse with them. So, all right, before we go now, we know we got to hit La La Land right real quick. Mm-hmm. The state of the Lakers, they are still, the marquee team. Brooklyn, you got to do something before we can put you up there. I mean, James Harden, once again, playing his way into shape. I'm not going to go there right now. I told you. Anyway. Right now, Brown is out with an ab pull. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, they said a week, and I'm like, that seems like it's going to be a little bit more than a week. That's like a kind of a baseball injury. I know baseball guys do about 3 or some weeks. But this is why you get Westbrook, to fill in those times when Brown has to miss, AD has to miss, because Westbrook will go full tilt against the Brooklyn Nets, just like he will go full tilt against the Sacramento Kings. He don't care. Now, to his good and bad, but at least you got somebody pushing the tempo, pushing intensity. So we'll start right now. We'll go back. Jeff, give me, I guess again, we're gonna ask the state of the Lakers. What you feel, what you've seen, what you like, you don't like. Go ahead.
LA, I mean, what they are is not what they're gonna be, right? We know it's a work in progress. I mean, they're sitting in the 8th spot right now at 6-5, and they're gonna stay afloat, just off the talent, I guess. You still have Westbrook, AD, as long as he can stay healthy and stay on the floor. I mean, he had a great night last night. Carmelo is playing out his mind.
Out of his mind.
I feel like he's saying la la. I mean, this dude is, I don't know. He's just rejuvenated. He just seems happy. So that's great. I definitely expect them to be a factor, but as far as, we're going to judge them by winning a chip or not. And I don't know. I just got a bad feeling. I think health and I don't know. I mean, hopefully LeBron will be okay. I like when I hate these injuries, man. We talked about this last year, Monty. We never seen, we've seen injuries, but to so many important key players that alter the landscape. Bucks wasn't winning if everybody was healthy. So going somewhere with that. I don't believe that at all. But yeah, I just don't think, I don't know. Westbrook turnovers and keys. I don't know how they're going to balance that. Well, they can try to, because people keep saying offset it, start the game, then kind of balance them out second, third quarter, let Westbrook run the second string. Westbrook not sitting on the bench in the Western Conference Finals when the game is on the line. And they're going to have to figure that out with all of them on the floor. And I just don't know, is LeBron handling the rock? At that point, Westbrook's not a spot up shooter. So what do you do with him? Hopefully they figure it out. But I'm gonna go on record right now. I believe the Lakers will not win a championship this year.
Okay. All right. We are going to do our predictions at the end after this one. Jamel, your state of the Los Angeles Lakers.
So early in the offseason moves, I was just seeing, the big name acquisition. And it was like, okay, yeah, you're putting together a great 2K team, but this is kind of scary. So then when they started, when they did the Monks and the Ellingtons, and and even bringing Dwight back and Rondo back, it's like, oh, okay, you're actually putting, like, you're caring about the second unit, or you're caring about the people that got to play when injuries, come across, and when it's 82 full games. So now what you have to worry about is when those guys don't perform. It's like, okay, it's a big deal. Obviously it's a big deal when our stars, when Westbrook is doing Habitat for Humanity, making these, how he is putting making some houses
Habitat
for these people. He is doing somebody's work. I'm sorry. But when you have, like, when you bring Ellington in, that's what he's supposed to do. So we need you to hit your spot ups. Like, so Monk is at least competing. Like, Monk has always been, I like him, but he's got to figure it out, but he's also young. It's very, I don't know if, what's my man, the Heat guy, the Heat guard.
None.
Oh, yeah.
Is he hurt, or is he just not a factor? Like, what's going on?
He's hurt. I think he's
he is hurt. Okay, because I'm like, this was supposed, he was like youngish, but like he's been that dude before. So this was supposed to be one of those, you bring me with the second unit and I'm hurting y'all feelings. And so, but if he's hurt, it's different. So yeah, I think that's what is good for them, is they actually do have a balance. And I think all those guys, I hope they know who the top dogs are and are trying to figure out their this rookie is playing like, hey man, whatever this is, I played basketball before. This is just more basketball, and he's playing fearless. So I respect dude. So we'll see. It'll be interesting.
Yeah. Joe, state of the Lakers.
Listen, man, obviously been on the show many times. As a fan, I put bias and whatnot to the side. I said from the beginning, I said I'm gonna give them 20 games. Give them 20 games to kind of see where they are. And if they find themselves under 500, that's when you start to look for basically trades. Like, I remember that Cavs team back in like 2018. Yeah, D Wade, D Rose, like all these great names with Isaiah Thomas, all these great names. And then they got to like the All-Star break, and it was like trade them all. And then that team's able to make it to the finals, but that's the way I'm seeing. I don't want to just harp on Westbrook because I know that's the easy thing to do. But at the same time, like I remember, like the Buddy Hield thing was done, and I was like, this is the perfect solution. They were giving away just enough to get him. It wasn't nothing crazy. I was like, this is a really good pick. Shut it down. Then it was talk to DeMar DeRozan, and I was like, okay, but still okay on defense and for things like that. That got shut down. And then the Westbrook thing happened. And I've never been a big fan of Westbrook personally, as far as winning. He's great with the accolades and everything. But I think it's going to take – they're in a similar position as last year. A lot of injuries are happening. And when teams this young and early don't have a time to get that chemistry, you got guys constantly in the lineup, guys constantly out of the lineup. They got Trevor Reeves is still hurt. Kendrick Nunn still hurt. THT still hurt. Bron's out.
What's up with THT?
He's been hurt since the preseason.
Yeah, he's been playing.
I don't know what the injury is, but they got a lot of guys, and I think they knew this coming in, which is why they got all these guys. Melo balling is great, but I don't depend on that later on in the season. So Anthony Davis, and Chuck calls him street clothes, man. Dude's a walking time bomb. Dude sneezes wrong, man, might be out for 2 weeks. So I think, like I said, I'm giving them 20 games, and I think by the All-Star break, they'll know if something needs to be done. But Jamel made a great point. Like, out of how big the Westbrook trade was, you don't really hear anybody, even like SportsCenter, just casual talk. No one was like, oh, man, this is it for the trade. Everybody was like, Westbrook? Like, everyone that I've seen, as big as of a trade this was, everyone has kind of had that question mark. So, and I really hope for his sake that he figures it out, because this could be a travesty for Russell Westbrook, because right now he's taking a lot of the blame, and he's not playing well. So you can kind of say that he deserves some of it, at least. But and one last thing I'll say, defensively is going to take a minute for them to get, because like Frank Vogel's defense is not necessarily, ISO one-on-one. It's a lot of switches. It's a lot. And that's one thing they have not been doing. It's like the newer guys, which I'm glad they got Avery Bradley back, because at least got one guy who knows it. Their switching it's not there yet. And that's one thing that helped them in the playoffs. They had all these guys that had a chance that not last year, but the year before. Like, the switching was on point. The defense was a lot better. But you saw even last year, all these injuries, new guys adding in, guys wasn't switching when they needed to switch. And last year, the Suns ran them out the gym. So that's one thing they definitely got to get the defense down.
That, sir, I have 2 points. Well, first Melo. Melo's, I don't know what's going on. He's shooting. If I'm looking at this,
he got the braids back, man. He got his stretch back.
Hoodie Melo out here. Hoodie Melo out here. He's shooting 52% from three.
Yes.
17
with no
games.
conscience.
He hasn't averaged this much a game in 5 seasons. Like, he's just, so it's like Melo, he cooking it. But I'm like, should y'all be depending on Melo this much? Like, man, but that's kind of a red flag. But he's crazy. He's changed his body, because I looked at him a couple years ago. He was thicker, he was a little heavier. He's obviously on that. He's really taking it serious. So shout out. I've always loved Melo. But Joe, you just hit it. That, I know it was the first game, but what I hated with the Lakers that first game was Golden State. Golden State had so many wide open shots. Frank Vogel is as complicated a defensive coach as, Andy Reid for the Chiefs coaching offense. Like, it's a complicated system. And when he's been there, the Lakers have been top 7 or 8 in defense every year he's been here. And so they're struck. And that's my thing with, this is an older team, and older guys don't rotate. They don't want to do all that much. I'm very much going to watch that. And so, Joe, you said they're going to assess come the All-Star break. No, let me tell you who's going to assess. Brown is going to assess come All-Star break. Brown is already looking right now like, He's chewing that gum. That's, Rondo.
See what we don't know is that his injury was 2 weeks. He's taking another 2 weeks just to assess.
Yeah, no, he's everybody.
He
AD ain't going nowhere, but everybody else. Listen, he shipped D Wade out, so all of y'all can get the heck out if he got to. So just understand that. So yeah, it's gonna be very interesting. But honestly, again, because of some weakened teams, they still got a really legit shot. Again, I was on record last year before Jamal Murray got hurt. I was riding with Denver. I loved Denver, but
Yeah, you were.
you know, I was just, and then again, it's funny because we didn't bring him up, but I don't know. Does anybody really Phoenix? Anybody just see everybody?
I'll just say this: they messing with a man's money. That's not a good sign. They mess with a man's money, and that's not a good sign.
My Aiden.
Look like the guy that was messing with his money probably gonna be out of there in a minute. So
exactly.
Okay, so very quickly before we end, let's get it right now. Our way too early finals predictions. You ain't got to pick your champion, but at least give me your finals prediction. Way too early finals prediction. Jamel, hit me up right now, man. Your way too early finals prediction.
Hey man, why not shake the table? It's the Warriors, which is easy, and they're going up against my Wizards. What's up? What are we doing?
Hey, let's go. Let's go. Okay.
What are we doing?
Hey, understand something. The Eastern Conference is crazy. Milwaukee made it last year. Miami made it the year before. Okay. Why not the Wizards? Okay. All right. Kuzma's revenge. Okay. All right. Mr.
Delete all of this in 3 months. I was camera trick.
Tell us what you got, Swami. You're never wrong.
All right. Y'all know the date. What is it? 11/10/21. Going with the Warriors versus the Heat. And Steph will finally get that elusive finals MVP. And ain't nobody going to be able to say nothing. Light skin win, baby.
All right. There we go. Joe.
So I should have positioned the camera a little differently. Got you obviously see who I'm rooting for in the East. I genuinely that is a genuine. I've had many conversations. I know Brooklyn is hot and everything, but I've been this Miami team. I said it even in the preseason. I said they got a squad. Didn't expect Tyler Hero to be doing what
Tyler Hero came back. Tyler Hero came back to God, y'all.
Tyler Hero,
he also now has a kid, so he's also playing for child support in the future. So, with that being said, obviously, I mean, I'm gonna say Miami and Lakers, but just for the sake of debate, I'm gonna rule out both biases. I'm not gonna say both biases, just because that's what everyone is expecting me to say. I'm gonna say the Warriors. I'm gonna say the Warriors because, personally, I thought Clay was coming back at the beginning of the season. I didn't know he was not coming back till later. But originally, I picked with the Warriors if the Lakers don't make it, and I said Warriors. I'm gonna say Warriors and Nets. I'm gonna say Nets for this reason.
Ooh, Nets. Okay.
I know they're not at this point where people thought that they would be, but one person can beat Kevin Durant, and that's Kevin Durant. He's either going to be making shots or there's nothing you can really do with that. I think James Harden, he's in a bad space right now, but I think he'll at least find his way back to at least somewhere in the 20 points. He's trying to fight all this right now, and I got a bullet. I think Kyrie Irving will be playing by the end of the season. And I only say that because I think either the rule in New York will have to change, or he'll have to get the shot. I think though, if they get to the point at the All-Star break when KD assesses the team, if they're not in a position to win a championship, you're gonna say, Kyrie, I brought you here, and I can take you out. So we got one or two options to do. So that's why I think it's gonna be. That's why I'm. If Miami don't make it, I'm calling for Brooklyn.
Okay. All right. And I'm gonna go way off the board. Y'all don't even know where I'm going with this. Like, I'm way off the grid here. I mean, I like the Lakers. I'm picking the Dallas Mavericks.
Oh my goodness.
Luka might just, I don't know, man. It's something about this boy Luka. Like,
He done got hit by that Luka magic.
I don't trust nobody on that team but Luka, man. Like, he might go, but that ain't even the one.
Okay. Oh, it's going worse than that.
Luka, the Dallas Mavericks against NYC, stand up. We ain't said nothing about the Knicks yet. New York Knicks. I love the Knicks. I love it. D Rose finally gonna get it. Man. Ain't no the Knicks just quietly you got Thibodeau ice. You got Thibodeau out there, man. We ain't said nothing but first of all, let me tell you something. James Harden, I have to see the trophy in his hand before I ever believe James Harden gonna do a hot biscuit. So they out. Milwaukee's still celebrating. All right, they not. You know what I'm saying? I like Miami, but Miami is going to try to win every game and they're going to burn out. That's what happened to them last time. I just think it was great. They play our defense, but they're going to burn out. I'm telling you, it's the East. It makes no rhyme or reason. So I'm going way off again. This is early. It's the 1/8 of the season. I can say this. You know what I'm saying? All right.
So
Bell got the Wizards.
Who wants to win? Who's winning that series?
How you gonna do worse?
Right.
Who's winning what?
So you got the Knicks going all the way.
New York Knicks.
All right, so basically, Jeff got the inside conversation with Clay, and my over here has the Spike Lee connection. So I see how y'all are moving. I'm not jealous. I'm admiring what you all are doing. Is that not partner interruption, the other show, Around the Horn, the inside information? Like, I see what y'all are doing. I respect.
So
crazy.
I mean, Joe, you might as well just pick the Lakers, man, if you want to pick them. I don't know why you're trying to hit.
Listen, I'm saying because I come on a show and I get all of these. We know who you're gonna pick, all this. So I try to stir the waters. At the end of the day, come on.
Give them what they want, Joe. Give them what they want.
There we go.
I did my best not to wear any gear. I did my best. I went in the closet and changed and whatnot. I didn't mean for this to be in the background, but you know where I'm going. You know where I'm really going. Lakers and Heat. Again, the rematch. Pat Riley and Bron.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of want LA, New York, because that would be great. But I was gonna go off the grid. But I'm like, wait, you didn't pick them. But guys, we will hold this tape. We will play this back. You know this, and this won't be the last time we'll be together. Probably after All-Star, we'll have to reassess where the league is. But we had to get it in, man. There's too much going on, you know, and we don't know. One of the Morris twins might not be with us after this. They might be locked up. They might be in a cage in Serbia somewhere.
And they about to pull up to a stoplight. and it's gonna be a black unmarked car.
And that van, and Grady, we don't know.
The last scene in Training Day.
Yeah, right.
One van.
A lot of Jake, need my money, Jake.
Like at some point, your body don't even move after 100 bullets.
Right,
anymore.
you've never seen that before. But guys, you know where to check us out, Shareholders Podcast. Please stay with us, man. I know y'all asking me and Tiff. We will be back at the start of the year. Me and Tiff got a whole new show coming up. Please check out, of course. All right, you see who that is right there. My man. All right, We Seen the Podcast is still doing things, man. We talking stuff. We got Dune coming out. We already love Dune. Great movie there. Check that out as well. You know what to do, man. Be blessed. Stay sharp. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
All right.